Hey everyone, this is day 20 of our 21-day journey. Wow, can you believe it? We are nearing the finish line. What a series! Fantastic. The sermon series, the, the Bible study, life group, the daily reading, the daily devotionals, discovering the 7 signs of Jesus. I don't know about you, but my faith is encouraged. I hope your faith has been challenged to believe God like never before. Today brings us to John chapter 20, and this is where Jesus resurrects on the third day. I encourage you to read the whole chapter. The empty tomb. Jesus has left the building, conquered sin, conquered death. Oh, death, where is your sting? Jesus, our Redeemer, lives. This is why we worship. This is why we praise a God who is not dead, but who's alive and who sits at the right hand of the Father. And he lives. He is alive. Jesus is alive, and he lives to intercede on your behalf. I don't know about you, but I'm so encouraged, like the old hymn writer who said, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. And I'm so encouraged that my Redeemer is alive and well. Jesus is alive. And John chapter 20 brings us to that passage that records the episode where Jesus resurrects from the dead. And the Bible tells us that he encounters Mary Magdalene. And in this encounter, there's so many things we could glean from the passage, but I do want to read one verse that's always been very interesting to me when I read John chapter 20. Jesus said to Mary, "Do not hold on to me, for I've not yet returned to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them that I'm returning to my Father and to your Father, to my God and your God." So get the picture. Jesus says that he's going to be crucified and he has to die on the cross, but he's going to be buried, and on the third day he's going to resurrect. And he tells his disciples and he tells his followers, and we know that many of them have scattered. We know that Peter denied. We know that Judas sold him out and committed suicide. And so everyone in the camp is scattered, and the disciples are hiding, and Jesus is dead, but he resurrects, but they don't know that he's resurrected. And his first encounter is with Mary Magdalene. And very interesting to me that she is obviously elated, overwhelmed, excited to see her Jesus, to see her Lord, to see her Redeemer, to see the one who delivered her from all her issues. And yet Jesus' response seems a bit strange to me, because he says to her, in her excitement to see him, he says to her, don't cling to me. Don't hold on to me because I've not gone to the Father. And that word cling is the same word we use cleave in Genesis when we're describing the connection between a husband and a wife when they leave their father and mother and they cleave, they cling, they connect to another. And Jesus is Jesus is saying to Mary, don't cling to me because I'm going to the Father. And I would just like to make a suggestion here from the text that Jesus, in essence, was managing Mary's expectations here, because I wonder if Mary may have been thinking, wow, Jesus is here, he died, but 3 days later he resurrected, and so now everything will go back to normal, and he'll come to my house for a meal, and we'll walk around, and we'll do ministry together, and we'll pray with people, and we'll give out loaves and fishes, and we'll do this and we'll do that. And Jesus is saying to her, I'm actually on my way to the Father. And he wants her to know, you can't cling to me, you can't hold on to me, because I am going on to the Father, and this will begin a new dispensation. This will begin a new season of ministry. And I would just like to take advantage of this moment to say that there are times in all of our lives where, if we're not careful, we will cling to things, we will hold on to things, good things, innocent things, but we'll hold on to them. And if we're not careful, they'll keep us from the next season of ministry. They'll keep us from the next dispensation of ministry. And so this little nugget in the text teaches me that there are times where I've got to be careful that I'm not holding on to something that might have been good, that might have served its purpose, that might have had its place at one time. But in order to get to the next level in your life, in order to move on to the next season of your life, you may have to let go of something. It could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Honestly, sometimes it's easier to identify the bad things and say, that thing is keeping me from getting to the next level. What's very interesting about this passage is that her connection to Jesus was a very good thing. It was an awesome thing. It was a right thing. But even Jesus had to check Mary's emotions and say to her, don't cling to me because I'm going to the Father, and we're about to experience a new season. We're going to, you're going to now have the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, and He's going to be with you. And so it is better for me to go, like we talked about a few days ago in John chapter 16. It is better for me to go so that I could send you another. And sometimes there are things in our life that are good, but we've got to look them in the eye and say, hey, it is actually better for you to go. It's better for me to go in order for us to experience the next level, the next season in our life. And so I hope that little nugget challenges you some today as we get down to the wire here in our series. I encourage you, read the entire chapter. Stay with us. We've got one more day. We're going to cross that finish line together. We love you. God bless you. Have a fantastic day.